Welcome to Without a Doubt, the podcast, where we explore the transformative journey of breaking cycles and embracing our truest self. I'm Mad, a cycle breaker, a creative, and a sprinkle of reality. If they ever told you to be quiet, sit down, blend in, but you couldn't, this podcast is for you. I'm so happy you're here. I have mentioned a few times on past episodes about how I was walking around with smiling depression last year, how I essentially lost my spark, my creative drive, my reason to just be. I think last year I truly learned that even the happiest of people can become depressed. I wish I could tell you that I knew when it started, but I can tell you that the physical symptoms were just as present and I was ignoring them. For the first time ever in my life last year, I got my first migraine. And no, 2024 really wasn't that stressful for me. But I was going through a metamorphosis that required a lot of being uncomfortable. Mentally, but also physically. I stopped hitting the gym as hard as I used to, as hard as I knew, and I backed off big time. I went into soft girl mode. I started walking, seldomly doing yoga, and focusing on more simple movements because that is truly all I could give. My depression was fueled by the anxiety I did not know how to tackle. I slowly began to withdraw from almost everything other than how I was actually making money and being with my partner, Kendra. I withdrew from my friendships. Sadly, a lot of these friendships didn't really check on me. And I had friends I would see on the weekly who I just stopped meeting up with. These coffee dates fizzled, just like those friendships also fizzled. And I had a lot of realizations about who I am, what role I play in a lot of people's lives, and what my purpose is. I think a lot of the withdrawal that I was having is how I felt I needed to cope, and I thought I needed to figure it out alone. In order to be better, I thought I totally had to withdraw from the intensity of life, the world, and that doing it alone is the only way, but I was so wrong. I did have one friend who was constantly pushing me to go to therapy. She was like, go talk it out. And she was persistent. She asked me time and time again, every time I went to coffee with her, she was messaging me to meet me up for coffee. And she would say, did you start therapy? And she obviously could tell I fell in a hole. And this was her way of extending a hand to help me get out. A few months prior to my birthday last year, I decided to finally seek out a therapist and do the talking thing and see if I could finally find myself again. And I did. It was a few months of weekly sessions, but it was like our third or fourth session when my therapist asked me if I thought I could be depressed. And I said, no way. And she asked me why I didn't think I was depressed. But she slowly started to mention how I had totally detached myself from the things that I love. I kept mentioning how I didn't want to do anything and I had no motivation or drive or spark. I had purposely stopped doing the things that made me happy. I had pushed aside the idea that I had to create the magic. I had eliminated the core thought that I too could even be suffering. She was right. In the months prior to therapy, I had not crafted. I stopped reaching out to hang out with my friends. I was having these monthly blow-ups where I was spiraling out of control and I was literally couldn't grasp anything. I was stuck in my routine of what I had built within the depression walls. I declined most of the invites out, and I had no drive to create anything. Honestly, I feel like I didn't even laugh for 6 months. If you've ever seen those depression commercials, it's like the little black cloud is following the little person. Yeah, that's truly what depression feels like. Everything felt cloudy, ruined, dark. I could not see past that. I was walking with a cloud over my head. Fast forward into a few sessions and me learning that I had been breaking down my own boundaries, people pleasing, and leaning into the guilt that I was feeling from others. I finally started to see the sunshine. What changed? Well, it's like I reinstated my sparkle. It's like someone told me that I dropped it and all I needed to do was pick it up. It was a few months of a mindset shift. It was a few months of weekly therapy sessions. It was art therapy I was doing at home for myself. It was forced conversations. It was forced hard conversations. It was holding on to my boundaries super tight. It was the reclaiming that I actually wanted my life back. So much so that when my own therapist started showing up late, rescheduling our sessions and not adhering to our sessions, I gave her the boot. Telling my therapist I needed her to go was very hard. I almost felt like I needed her, but it was the reassurance I needed that I was back to myself. My little spice was kicking in and I was ready to serve the heat. My depression stole so much from me, including my attitude on how to get shit done, how to stand up for myself. It also stole my sense of wonder, adventure, imagination, and truthfully, once I could feel it coming back, it was a huge shift. I woke up feeling clearer, felt like I had more purpose, and I could see the silver linings again. I was finding the gratitude again, and this is a key concept and a key component in life. Some days I would tell myself, it's okay if all you did today was get yourself a coffee. It's okay if all you did today was go for a walk, because those things were so hard on some days. But nobody knew that I was struggling. A few things I did learn along the way, and I do think we all need to be aware of and share and accept that depression is a real thing, and depression is not something to be embarrassed by. And it's okay. It's okay if you're not feeling like yourself, but it is not okay to sit there and do nothing about it. This is different if you don't even know that you're depressed, which is possible. Hello, me. But it is okay to realize that you're not happy. It's not okay to not be happy. You deserve to be, and you deserve to be happy. You deserve to have people with you, and that's why you don't have to do this alone. Doing it alone isn't going to help you at all. Find a friend, a therapist, find the community. I do know it is harder said than done, but we cope by finding healing in others. It took me well over a year to actually get started in therapy. We survive by knowing other people have survived this. We move on by moving with others. Find the message, the attitude again, the mess that you need so that it's not so lonely. No one deserves to do that alone. You also don't have to stay quiet, although there are conversations where more peace will lead more protection for you when you're not saying shit. You get to choose when to stay quiet or when to be loud. When you get to say your piece or when you protect your peace. You don't have to share everything or with everyone. You don't have to share your struggles. You don't have to share your shortcomings, your ideas, your successes. Some tables you are meant to be the head of, and others you are meant to be a guest of. Learning when to stay quiet, be quiet in order to protect your own peace is a big piece to mental peace. And lastly, I just want to remind you that when life knocks you down, you do not have to stay down. You don't have to be the victim. You can get up. Even if you're muddy, you're hurting, you're bleeding, you're broken, you can still get up. You may need a hand. You may need help. You may need a whole fucking community. Shit, you may need professional help. But that doesn't make you any less worthy. You deserve to be here. You deserve love. And you deserve peace. And more importantly, you deserve to feel like you have purpose, because you do. I hope that you know without a doubt what a badass you are. Go get them. Don't do it alone. Go get the help you need if you're feeling like you're struggling. I will still be here next week, and I can't wait to chat more. See ya. Bye. Hey, and by the way, if you love this podcast, let me remind you that you sharing this is one of the greatest ways to help my podcast just grow. If you don't already follow this, hit the follow button. Give it a rating. Do something with this that can help this go from where I am now to somewhere greater. You have the ability to help me be a bigger podcaster. I love you for being here, and you can always find me on YouTube, Instagram, or anywhere you listen to your podcasts. See you around and catch you next time. Bye.